This week on our channel, we're going to talk with Shannon. She's my cousin, and she's the wife of Paul, who we talked to last week. I'll link to that video at the end. And I'm going to switch it up a little. Shannon's not retired yet, and she's getting ready to turn 50, thinking about what retirement's going to look like. At least that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. And I thought it'd be interesting to get her perspective. She's married to someone who is retired, sort of. And we'll see what she has to say about how that impacts her future. So, Shannon, thanks for being able to do this, and
yes.
I guess being willing to do this while you're here on vacation. I guess the first thing is just tell everybody a little bit about you, like how you got to this point in your life, and we'll go from there.
About 20 years ago, I was working at Starbucks and needed to make more money because I was single and, didn't have a lot of money. So I started cleaning houses on the side. Well, then Starbucks came to an end and I made it a full-time job to do houses. And then over time, it just got bigger and bigger, and I was doing houses and I was doing some businesses like smaller offices and that type of thing. And then Paul came into the picture and it almost accelerated, like I think having a partner who was willing to help and, truly be my partner in business. We 3 years ago let the houses go, the residential side of the business go, and now it's just all commercial. So we employ 8 people and we also do some of the work ourselves. So.
But you have a lot of free time.
Yes, we have a lot of free time because we have awesome employees who, do their job like they're supposed to, even when I'm not home. And the couple businesses that we do clean, I have someone that will cover us when we're gone.
Okay. And yeah, so Paul told us last week about it. He was a teacher for 30 years and he retired at 54, so kind of early. He's been retired 9 years now. Yeah. So, and he's been retired basically the whole time, almost the whole time you guys have been married.
Yes, almost the entire time. Yes.
Okay. So were you a part of the decision making when he was thinking about retiring?
Yeah, and actually the cleaning business was also instrumental in him allowing him to retire. Because of the income that was coming in, it was enough that we didn't need as big of a paycheck from him every month.
Okay.
So that's really what, allowed him to retire earlier.
Okay.
And then as he's been retired, the business has just grown leaps and bounds.
Okay. So he calls himself retired. He still, you guys work, and I'm guessing maybe you guys put in, or him with you, maybe 10 hours a week?
Probably. Yeah, that's probably about 10, 8 to 10.
Okay. And then you're doing the books and everything on the back side.
Yes, deal with the clients and the employees.
Okay. So him being retired, how has that shaped your look on retirement?
I think it's given me, I don't want to work forever. I think I'm more apt to maybe retire a little bit earlier.
Okay.
I think it's shown the both of us that if you can retire early, or at least cut back, it's great to do that because to be able to go do things, because we do travel a lot, and some of the places we have visited, someone who's older, isn't going to be able to get around as well.
Okay. What about, on our channel, we don't talk like specifics about finances, right. But do you feel like him being retired, you guys have to find your own insurance, right? So you're through the marketplace. We talked a little bit about that with Paul last week, but has that forced you to think about what do I have to have for finances to be able to retire comfortably and not really change my lifestyle a whole bunch?
Yeah. Yes. It makes you look at the big picture. And I've also done a lot of research on how to pay for healthcare maybe a little differently. We carry catastrophic health insurance, but I've also learned if we use certain pharmacies or if we pay for things out of pocket, we get a savings.
Right.
So you just kind of learn to figure it out. But yeah, it's concerning because health insurance goes up every year. Right. Of if I decide to retire before, 65, it all kind of depends on the market, on how the insurance is going to look for us. But yeah, you have to really, take a big look at how much is that insurance going to cost me.
So on that note, though, and again, we talked about this a little bit with Paul, do you think it's worth someone working longer just to make sure they have the best insurance?
No, because I think you don't need the best insurance. You
Okay.
need to figure out how you can afford to pay for your medication and maybe some, doctor's visits. Like our insurance is catastrophic. It's like $9,000 per person per deductible. And that's also our max out of pocket for the year.
Right.
But that, with the plan that we have, allows us to have 3 doctor's visits that are included
Okay.
with that plan. So I feel like, okay, well, if
Like
I get
preventative care doctor visits or just like
doctor
any
visits.
Okay.
Just you got to go see your primary care physician.
Okay.
It's covered.
All right.
So, and the way I look at it is any type of major illness or accident, you're hitting that $9,000 mark
Right.
in a heartbeat.
Right. And you guys, you talked to me a little bit about this, like because you're generating enough income through your business, you're not getting any of the subsidies or very little subsidies.
We don't get any subsidies at all.
Okay, so you're kind of paying
yes
as much as you can for that insurance, but you're getting it from the marketplace, right?
We went through the marketplace.
Yeah.
You don't have to. That's just what we do because it's easier. We live in rural Oregon, and so we really only have a handful of plans. I mean, in reality, I think there's 4 plans, but there's really only 2 plans that you can choose from. So we don't have what the big cities have as far as like plans and medical care.
So in your future, though, you're not saying I'm going to work longer because of insurance cost.
No.
Okay. So as you've looked at Paul and his retirement, what have you seen, if anything, him struggle with in retirement?
Yeah, he hasn't struggled a lot. He eased right into retirement without a problem. But I think it's helpful that we do have things to go do.
Right.
Like we do have a business to run, and he does help with things. So his life didn't stop. It just pivoted a little bit,
Right. So as you were planning together for his phase, what's your plan? Like, when do you think you're going to significantly cut back?
That's a good question. We had the conversation with our CPA not long ago just about, and our financial advisor. And it all kind of depends on, to fully retire, I don't know, because it took me 20 years to build the business that we have. I will probably at some point hire a manager to manage the overall day-to-day operations of it. Probably not the financial side, but if they have to cover an employee, supplies, all that type of thing, I will probably eventually hire a manager depending, as we need less money from the business and I can give more money, out. I don't know.
So is some of that, you started out that by saying, I spent 20 years building the business.
Yeah.
Is some of your hesitation because you're worried about what's going to happen when you're no longer moving all the pieces?
Yes, probably. I'm a busy person. I like to be busy. And I like the income it generates.
Okay.
I do. And it allows us to travel and do a lot of things. So if I don't have the income generated that we have, we've been planning and saving and doing all the right things for retirement, but you don't earn as much when you're retired.
Right.
You're living off investments and whatnot. So
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
So, but me with the business, it just gives us more freedom financially to go do the things.
Okay. So a while ago, I interviewed a guy named Mike who had his own business, and he kind of did tell me that there was a little bit of hesitancy. Like he was confident that they could afford to do it financially, but like, is whoever takes over the business going to take care of it like you took care of it?
And they're going to take care of my clients,
right.
Because those are my clients. Yeah, you do worry.
Okay. So is that worry enough to keep you working?
No. Okay. If we come to this place where I'm like, okay, I feel totally confident that we can continue to live how we want to live. And I do realize we won't travel like we do now always because you aren't going to be able to.
Right.
And Paul has a couple years on me. So, he's probably going to slow down before I do.
So on that note, like, how are you guys, I'm sure you guys have talked about it. How are you planning on dealing with that as he ages? And he's a few years older than you.
He's 14 years older than me.
Okay. So I didn't want to say it.
No.
So thanks.
We've had the conversation. He is going to be old before I'm old.
Right.
And it all depends on if he doesn't need me. I mean, his health too. If he's healthy, but maybe he is just doesn't want to go anymore. He doesn't want to go do the big trips, to do the things. Then I will go with a friend. I have friends that like to travel who don't have spouses who like to travel. Then we'll just, I'll go do that. He's not gonna. It won't stop me because he can't go. Now, will I go as much? Probably not, because we go a lot right now.
Yeah, you do go a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of that, you have the cleaning business, but you also just started to decide, okay, well, I travel so much, I'm going to start dabbling in
So yes, I became a travel agent about a year ago. And that also, I mean, if that will play a piece in my retirement, if that, my goal is not to make it the janitorial business, no matter what the economy does, we have a business to run. The police station needs to be cleaned. I mean, the buildings we clean have to be cleaned. And travel isn't quite so.
Even when the pandemic shut everybody else down, that was like.
It was insane. I was crazy for 2 years.
Right.
I heard one more time, hi, we need a pandemic clean. Or not, a COVID clean. It was just like, But yeah, I'm hoping that maybe in time, with our investments and everything else, and then if I can make just enough from the travel business to allow us to continue to travel like we have been, I would let the cleaning business go.
Okay. All right. And do you think you talked about hiring a manager. Do you see yourself just selling the business to somebody at some point?
Possibly. I feel like we are. I mean, it's weird with the cleaning business. I mean, you're basically selling the client list.
Right. You're selling your book of business.
And a few vacuum cleaners. I mean, you're not.
Right.
I don't have major equipment.
Yeah, you're basically giving somebody a ready-made business to step into.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything about your future retirement that makes you nervous?
No.
Really?
Not really.
Well, that's good.
My biggest fear is knowing, because Paul is older, that someday it will be just me.
Well, and plus, maybe that pushes you to retire earlier so that you can do stuff together.
Yes.
Like at the drop of a hat.
Yes.
And not have to worry about the business as much.
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking forward to the most? And it might be the same answer. What are you looking forward to the most when you decide to retire? I mean, you're 50. Let's say it's 55.
Just not having to deal with the day-to-day running of a business.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, she's been with us for 5 days, and she's been dealing with the business every day.
Yes, every day.
Yeah, so there's everybody thinks it's great to have your own business, but.
And no matter where we're at, and I appreciate the internet and all that because I can run a business, but yes, I've taken phone calls, sitting in Rome. I took a phone call from a client. I mean.
Right. You just have to.
You still have a business to run. Yeah. They don't care where you're at. They don't care what you're doing.
Okay. All right. So we do stuff together. We went on a cruise a few years ago before I was retired. Do you think, like what I'm doing in retirement, what you know of it, do you think I'm approaching it the right way?
I think so. You're staying very active and busy. I mean, you play pickleball and you're involved with church. Yeah. I think
probably a little too much at times.
Well, I think the important thing is to not stop living.
Yeah.
Because if you go home and sit in your lazy boy, you aren't going to live for very long.
Right. But then on the flip side of that, there's all the people that work right up until they can't work.
Right. And then you are missing out on the enjoyment, on the pickleball and the traveling.
The stuff that supposedly you saved for your whole life. But you work until you're 75 and then all of a sudden I can't travel.
I mean, I understand, like, you need to get up and go do something every day. Well, get up and go volunteer for a couple hours. You don't have to go to work every day to, fill your bucket. You can go do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Anything else that, you've watched some of our videos, anything else you think the people out there should think about, whether they have their own business, whether they're working for somebody else when they're headed towards that retirement dream or the end date?
Just don't wait till you're too old to enjoy going out and doing things, I guess is my biggest thing. And you don't know how long you have.
Yeah, tomorrow's not guaranteed.
My mom died at 52. Paul's mom died at like 54. I mean, and I understand that not everyone can retire that early, but at least take those vacations. Take the time off to go do the things with your friends and family because you don't know when it's all going to be over with.
Right. And one of the things that we tell people all the time is, I don't think I can retire yet. Okay, well, you don't think you can.
Right.
Go figure it out.
Right. Go talk to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, don't just think I can't afford health insurance. Okay, do you even know what it costs?
Right.
Like,
and you know the other avenues that you can
Yeah.
use.
right.
You know, talk to somebody who's a professional.
I think there's some people out there that are just scared of taking that step, so
Yeah.
they don't do any of the work to look at what it's going to cost,
Right.
because they might be surprised that, wow, I could afford to do
Right.
this.
Yeah, and you don't want to have any regrets.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Shannon, again, I appreciate you being willing to sit down, and Shannon's a different take, right? She's still working. She doesn't even have an end date kind of in mind, at least not one that she's willing to share right now.
Don't have an end date.
Okay. But again, I think the message from everybody that I've talked to is, don't wait. If you can do it, get out there and retire, and live your life while you can, because again, tomorrow's not guaranteed anybody, and you don't want to make that trip to the doctor where he says,
Yeah, you got 6 months left.
right.
Or,
Yeah. Okay. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
And everybody out there, thanks for watching us. I'll link to last week's video with Paul somewhere around here. So thanks for watching, and God bless.